Section 11 of The Silence, What It Is, How to Use It. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by LT. The Silence, What It Is, How to Use It, by David Van Bush. Section 11. Thought to hold in silence and to meditate upon during the day. For justice. There's a spirit of justice that secures me, in which is my own. If we reach a consciousness of justice, we need to have no doubts as to our care in every particular while journeying between the two peaks of eternity, from birth to the great divide. There is nothing that can defeat justice, and the person who has a consciousness of justice will attract to himself every conceivable thing needed for this life, because it will be the logical objective of justice to supply each individual that justice for which he thinks. That is the reason why this affirmation is so complete in itself, namely, there is a spirit of justice that secures me in which is my own, and this security is provided already for us by the spirit of justice. It would be a psychological paradox to think that justice could be defeated. That could not be. Perhaps it appears to you that your own has not yet been secured to you, but remember that life is fleeting, that a year is as a tale that is told, and that a decade is but as ships that pass in the night, when the years have vanished in the distance. If you have lived a life of justice, and it appears now that your own is not coming to you, that someone else is having more of the good things of life than you, and that someone seems to have used the art of the man of injustice, be not deceived. God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. If you have sowed equity and justice in the days that are gone, be sure that the same equity and justice will be secured to you. The scriptures tell us not to think too much of the man who is nourishing like a green bay tree, for his efforts are soon cut off, and he vanisheth away. One who is astride the scales of justice, and who thinks that he can hold the balance, is gravely mistaken. He may have occupied his present position for many years, first putting his weight on one side and then on the other in an effort to keep his equilibrium. Perhaps today it appears that the scales of justice are being well manipulated by his insincerity, duplicity, or trickery, but it is like the green bay tree. It will soon pass away. Justice is as eternal as God himself, and there is no more possibility of defeating it in the individual's life, in your own life, in the life of a nation, or in the history of mankind, than there is of likelihood that the sun can get away from its own rays. The justice of God is eternal, or in other words, God always is justice personified. Where God rules and where his laws and mandates have been given by his own fiat, man, neither flesh nor the devil, can defeat the ultimate outcome of justice. Your own is secured to you. Man himself is fashioned by the finger of divinity. The crown of justice is placed upon his brow, and no ruthless hand of greed, duplicity, or evil dexterity can ever tear it away. It is there to stay, and the man who has been thus crowned because he has lived in this consciousness of justice, in the consciousness of God himself, is bound to have come back to him that which he has sowed, justice. You are secured by this spirit of justice. Perhaps already your life has had the law of compensation bring to you more than to others of whom you may think, and who, because of their bank account, get more out of life than you. A man may have $1 million and yet not be as happy as the laborer living in a thatched cottage. Perhaps justice has tipped the scales in your favor already, and you may have failed to recognize it. Perhaps you have children, loved ones, family, and fireside, which bring more comfort to you than the landowner gets who lives in his palace on the hill. Half of life, or the joys of life, depend upon our ability to recognize and appreciate the blessings we already have. Therefore, in counting your blessings, or discounting your blessings, be sure that you use a moral standard instead of a material standard, in gauging whether justice has been meted out to you or not. The justice of the eternal secures me. The spirit of justice secures me in which is mine own. Believe it, think it, live it, claim it, and justice shall be yours. End of section 11.